How is it going today? I just logged into Facebook to get going on this thing. Hopefully I'll get this done before the rain nails me and get a run in too. But I had a friend did a post on Facebook right when I was looking there, and I saw the same shirt and it was me standing in the picture. So I'm not very social on Facebook, so that's pretty hilarious. But anyway, I was laughing at myself and thought that was kind of fun. What do you think? Are you gonna think the same way today that you thought a year ago? Are you gonna think the same way today that you thought 20 years ago? How about 30 or 40? Or are you gonna think the same way a year from now that you do today? I know for me that dial is moving all the time, and I think differently as time passes. And a lot of that thinking differently has to do with how I think about others. And that process just took time for me to see others differently and to consider others in a more compassionate and gracious manner. And we're back in 2 Corinthians 5. I've been hammering this last week or so. And I want to focus on verses 16 and 17. And in 16 it says, we no longer view anyone according to the flesh. And to me it's implied, but by the Spirit. So we're looking at people who are interfacing with us day in and day out, and we're no longer looking at their fleshly habit patterns. So if somebody has a habit pattern of yelling and screaming at me, I'm going to look at them at their spiritual point of view. Do they know Christ or do they not know Christ? And if they don't know Christ, I would suspect it'd be ordinary for them to yell and scream at people. If they do know Christ, they're acting uncharacteristically of their true nature. And so that's what I think Paul is saying in 2 Corinthians 5:16 is no longer are we going to view people based on what their outward expression is doing. Because if everybody viewed me that way, then when I tripped on something, they would all be judging me based on that event, that activity, that word, whatever it is. And then he goes on to verse 17, and he says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, they are a new creation. So the attitude he's saying is when you look at people, can you look at them and say, are they in Christ or not? And if they're not in Christ, it would explain a lot of the things they say and do that maybe are contrary to what you believe might be better. And in that process, wouldn't it be much better if they knew Christ than me correcting whatever they said or did? And so if any man is in Christ, he's a new creation. But if he's not in Christ, he needs to be in Christ. And if he's in Christ and he's acting unusually uncharacteristic to his true identity, he probably just needs a friend to walk through and find out what's really stirring his soul at that point and encourage him in his journey. So the idea that we can look at people differently than how they're expressing themselves has really been something I've had to learn in the years recently, because I used to put people in a pigeonhole and leave them there forever based on what they might have said or done to me. And the Lord's teaching me, you know what, Keith, you have evolved over time. And if somebody would have put you in a pigeonhole a long time ago, they probably wouldn't give you any time or space today. And so by no longer viewing anybody according to the flesh, but by the Spirit, I can tear down those pigeonholes and give people space to allow them to be who God created them to be. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're able to give people space and trust that the Spirit of God is bigger than any challenge that somebody has in their life, and He can transform them in an amazing way. Hope you're well. Hope to see you soon.